Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese sizala sizokhuluma ngazo le ncwadi esisuke fundile senzela laba phela abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuyifunda incwadi nalabo abasuke benqana nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese sizala sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama-reviews ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. Uma ngabe uqala ujoyina namhlanje and you really like our content, do not forget to subscribe below bese uphinda upressa i-notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Kanjalo futhi uma ufuna ukuba imember yale channel, please press join button la ngezansi bese ulandela ama-instructions on how to become a member of this channel. Guys, today we are doing a full review of the show called Life with Kelly Kumalo. It's season 3. Ne? Season 3, episode 3. Is it episode 3? We are still in episode 3. Okay. So, my sakala is show. She's in bed. It's a nice bedroom that she has there. I like the colors. She's waking up in the morning to a phone call. You could see she's got an interview that she wasn't aware of. I guess her manager or her assistant, I don't know. It's Hutato, her manager didn't tell her about. I think he said he forgot to tell her she's got an interview. She's not happy with it. She wasn't informed about it. But he says it's not a big deal. It's just a phone call interview. And while she's on the phone, Mawake comes in in her bedroom with a cup of coffee. Wouldn't I just lie for my mom to do that? And yeah, and then they talk about the therapy session, because last week they did go, last episode, or should I say, I did go to a therapy session with her mom. That's where they discussed Indabaye relationship with Uzandi. So they're talking about possibly having a meeting with Uzandi with a therapist there to mediate between them. And she says Uzandi, Kelly says Uzandi, all she has to do is to bring herself. They want to create an environment where everybody can say ukuthi bafila kanjani after the fallout yabo bobabili. And akafuni kube into yokuthi they are pointing fingers as to who did what, but she does say ukuthi her sister hurt her a lot. I actually don't have the details of how the falling out happened between Ukeli and her sister. I still don't understand what was the actual thing that Uzandi did that really made Ukeli this upset, but I'm going to find out actually, because it will be interesting to just understand, because she really feels like she was betrayed by Uzandi for some reason. And she says and no one has hurt her more than her sister has. So I guess it's something it's worth looking into. If you guys know what happened, what did Zandi do that makes Kelly be so mad for this long, honestly. So, and they're saying they want to create an environment where everybody can come in and say what they feel and what they think, and kungakhonjwana, and for them to listen to each other. I actually think that would be a good idea. And Umawakena says they do need to do a therapy together, so they agree on that. And then the next scene is Kelly Kumalo. I guess she's trying to prepare for birthday umntanakhe, celebrating being a preteen. He said he wanted a safari theme, not a jungle theme. Is it a jungle theme or safari theme? And she's going to Nono events because she's gonna be planning the birthday party. And they're talking about all of the things that Christian wants for his birthday. It looks like it's really going to be a great party. And then after that, she goes to see, they talk about Indabaye guest list. And then Kelly ukhuluma ukuthi akathandi really indaba yama A-listers and people in the industry. I think she said that even in the last episode ukuthi kunobufake obuningi ku-industry, so it's not like abantu abathandayo ukuthi abameme labo, but akafuni ukuba ne-formal list necessarily when it comes to ukuthi ubani who will be coming to a party or not. I did wonder, you guys, but then I guess not, because they don't really speak with Ujub, if they do invite any of the family members of Ujub, but I'm guessing ukuthi not, because I don't think that she's in communication with any of the family members there. And after that, she goes and sees Chef Zondi. I guess he's the one that will be catering for the party. And she says that the reason she wants to do a big party, because last year, Utingo had a big party. And Christian didn't have a big party. And the reason that Christian didn't have a big party is because he wanted a phone. So he said for the birthday party, he wants something small, so that he could get a phone, which made sense. So that's what she did, okay. But she says, when you're looking at it, it didn't translate so well, because it almost looked like, I guess it looked like Uthando Utingo cool, because Utingo had a big party and this one had a small party. So this time she wants to go all out. So I guess that's the reason if we win the party enkulu. So Christian must just say what the theme is, and she's the one that will take care of what's going to happen in the party. So obviously the party is going to be big. After she meets with the chef, I guess the party is all in order. She's got the events planner there, and then she's got the catering, and I guess list that we don't really know about, but I guess it's only like close friends. She goes to the Val she says it's a Val press junket, which is about the Val event that she was going to have on the 28th of May, which was called Kelly with Friends, So she's just being, it's like sitting at the table with different journalists asking you different kinds of questions. I guess the whole thing was supposed to be about the event that they are about to have, okay, in the Val, ne? But obviously, like abantu mababona Kelly, there's always going to be questions about her and being a mom to her son after what happened with her, being when it was alleged that he was suspended from school because of being in possession of something that he was not supposed to be in possession of. And also a question about science. There's no way that you can have so many journalists in one room with Kelly Kumalo and nobody's going to ask those questions. But she's irritated about it. She says that she's not a fan of journalists nje vele. So, and then anyway that she has to answer all the time. And she feels like she wanted to be in control of the narrative that day, because this whole thing was supposed to be about the event. She wanted to talk about the event, who is going to be there, and some journalists were there to ask their own questions. So, and when they ask her what really inspires her, she says it's spirituality. Kelly Kumalo, I think she refers a lot to spirituality. I actually just would like, I would be interested to know how for herself she defines spirituality, because these days, spirituality for different people, it means different things. I wish she elaborated a little bit more about what spirituality is for her. And then there was this boy, but I guess it was one of the journalists that asked, are you a good mom to your son? Guys, like, I just don't feel like you can, it's ever a good question to ask a mom. Like, are you a good mom? Of course, I think I'm a good mom. But the fact that you're asking me if I'm a good mom is probably going to make me feel like maybe I'm not. So what is the point of that question? It's just not a question you ask a mom. It's not a question you ask a mom. And just because someone's child did something, it doesn't mean that now they're not good mom. It's just, and she was irritated by that question, and she says that she won't dignify it with the answer, and she's very confident about how she's doing as a mom, and people that have those questions, and they can have those questions for themselves. And I think the journalist that really asked, there was just this one lady who asked about the event, who's going to be at the event, what's going to be happening at the event, and she was just asking questions that are relevant to what the whole event at the Val is going to be about. And then she starts talking about how she's going to get to do a what do you call it, a tribute to Uropi Malinga. And we all know Uropi Malinga worked with Kelly on a lot of songs. I think he produced for her. So they, and outside of Umculo, they had a really tight friendship, and she really got emotional about it. I think she gets more emotional talking about Uropi Malinga than she does talking about Usenzo. Really, I haven't seen her cry talking about Usenzo, and she's very emotional about it. It was hard for her to even finish what she was trying to say in terms of like she's going to do a tribute to Uropi Malinga. She says she really hasn't had the time to mourn Olokhuzana, Dr. Malinga. So I wonder how that performance was, because obviously it has passed, because it was on the 28th of May. So I wonder how that tribute was, because I never saw it. And then it's a party, and it's the jungle. It's then some people are adhered to the theme. Some people just didn't. Like her friend Duloda was just wearing a sexy dress and put a tail. And then in but there were kids there, I guess. Close. I didn't see any celebrities really, and only Usomizi. I don't know if it's just me who don't know those people, but they are celebrities. But there was Usomizi who came and gave Christian, because he said he didn't buy a present, and did the same thing that he did to Muhale Inganek, and just gave him imali jening wayifaka again. I'm guessing as a child that is so excited, so much money, and then I don't know, somehow I feel like that thing could have been planted by the producers. Even there was a toy gun that the kids were playing with. All of a sudden, that when and then Kelly was losing it. So these kids are playing with a gun, and was trying to find out who brought the gun, and nobody was coming out to say yes, they brought the gun. I feel like production brought that gun. It makes sense that she would be freaked out by the gun, you guys, but at the same time, she had kids there that were not hers. So even though she might not think it's a good idea to play with the gun, some parents might not. So maybe it was just a mistake on their part. The kid brought the gun with her, but she started just screaming and shouting, and I think it created tension at the party. And she always assumes Lokhuzana, Christian is wrong, and shouts at him. I hated that he was getting shouted at his birthday. I really feel like maybe because a relationship with Christian's father is not good, and Christian looks so much like ubabwakhe. Sometimes mhlampe ama emotions that go into like mayenza wrong, amanye are mixed with ama feelings with her father, because sometimes I feel like but that is just because Christian didn't know who brought the gun, And yeah, she said, I guess it makes sense because they went through that incident yokushona kaSenzo through Isbamo, and then to have a toy. Anyway, I also would struggle when my son wanted guns as toys, because they always say toys are supposed to teach kids, So it's like, for me, a gun, I would always just be feeling like, but what are we trying to teach a child with a gun? How to shoot? To shoot who? Shoot who, shoot away, I did have that, I had that struggle, and people would just say, it's just a toy, and I'm like, yeah, it's a toy, but for what is he learning, So, yeah, I did understand a little bit there. But the party looked really cute, the kids looked like they were having fun, and then it was time to open the presents. Is opening the present. It's many presents, you guys, and it's nice things that is opening. So I'm guessing as a child that already gets a lot, another kid might have been very excited about those gifts, but he just wasn't. And Ugogo explains it, which that's just how he is. He will say thank you, but he's not gonna, oh my God, thank you, Gogo, thank you, Ma. He's not like that. That's what Ugogo explained it. Kelly on the other side was like, unako kuba ungrateful, like he's entitled. And I hate ukuthi uthanda ukumcompare nobaba wakhe, even though he's not saying it to him, he's saying it on the show that is going to be on national TV, that is going to be on the internet, so at some point a Christian will hear that comparison. And it's not a comparison, your father is so great, you are just like him. It's like your father is such an entitled person, you are just like him, and I really hate that she does that. I wish that she could stop that, just treat him as an individual. If there's something that he's doing wrong, just correct it without that reference to his father. And so he opened, I think she had bought him Jordans, and he opened, he saw them, he said thank you, put it aside, and other presents he did the same. So later on, I guess maybe it's a few days later, they're talking about the party, and Kelly felt like she needed to talk to him about the opening of the gifts. And he's saying, so were you happy with the gifts? She said, I was very happy with the gifts. So which gifts did you get? And he's trying to remember. This is the child that gets a lot, because another kid will be like, I got the Jordans, I got this and that, he's trying to think, what did I get? So he starts counting the shoes. For him, it wasn't even like it's a big deal, it's a Jordans. It was like, I got the shoes from you, and then I got the shoes from someone else, and then I got the speaker from uncle whoever, and then I got a whatever, and she started explaining, but sometimes she speaks like she's preaching to somebody when she's just talking to a child. I don't know, guys. There's something that just bothers me with her interaction with her son. Like, I feel for her son. I really do feel for her son, because there's a feeling that you have, you guys, about your father that your mother doesn't have. And khona izinto ezihlaba ziphukele nje enhlizweni yakho when they are being said about the other parent, when they are being said by one parent about the other parent, whether that parent you are close to or not, because that parent is part of you. You are part of that parent, whether you want it or not. There's just something. So I do feel like, it affects him a little bit. So he says, in the data section, she does say, he does have the same traits as his dad. And I hated that one day Ulona is going to hear that, Christian. And he says that Kelly feels like the reason Uchup is the way that he is, like feeling entitled and all of that, it's because of his mom. And he feels like she doesn't want to be that kind of a mom to a Christian. So she wants to make sure that she teaches them how to respect people, how to be grateful for everything, all of the good things that everybody wants for their children. Honestly, that's what she wants. And I think it's good, and I think she is doing good. I just wish that she would stop with, anything ambiguous Christian is, because, you are like your father when you do this. It can't be all negative when it relates to his father, because you never know, maybe one day when he's grown, he's gonna want to have that relationship with his father. I don't know, you guys. I really think Christian, guys, if it's when it turns out good, it's gonna be a victory, honestly, because there's so many reasons for him to really struggle throughout life, because it's difficult. I think it's gonna be difficult to grow up in public with your parents not getting along and saying things about each other on social media, because it's a representation of who you are as a child, like who you are. It's both of them. So when they're going on each other like that, I think it's going to be hard. And everybody knowing that you are that child, that everybody is, fighting about, because honestly, if it was, if he wasn't there, if he did not exist, obviously Kelly would have gone the other way and Ulona would have gone the other way, but they are stuck together because they have this beautiful, boy together. Yeah, you guys. Otherwise, that was the episode today. I thought we were gonna finally see Zandi on this episode, but no, we didn't. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do a review of that interview that Uzandi did and talk about it a little bit, how I felt about it. I felt so much better about this interview with Uzandi than I did with about the interview Kelly Kumalo. I think Uzandi is able to articulate a little bit more, a little bit better than Kelly was. So it was interesting to listen to. Thank you, Umkosi Entertainment, for bringing us that interview on YouTube. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Please like it before you share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.